The Cambridge Folk Festival.
Cambridge 105 Radio.
Radio. We're going to start with Grainne Hunt, and she is playing on Sunday as part of the Culture Island Showcase on the new Stage 3, and she spoke to Linda Ness and Alex Albro.
Do you know the others that are in the group for the Culture Island?
I know all of them, but I've never actually met any of them, which is amazing because I'm really looking forward to catching them. So I believe the Armagh Rhymers are opening up, and then I'm on, and then I'm not sure the order between the Henry Girls and Shiva. But yeah, it will be an amazing showcase. Myself included, I suppose I want to say, really.
No, why
but all the
not?
others are
Absolutely.
great. It's gonna be a great day. And I know the Welsh guys are all on Saturday, right?
Yes.
And Scottish on Friday. So I'm looking forward, because Chloe Mathari is playing on Friday, so I'm looking forward to catching her.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
good. Some top tips for everyone there
Yeah.
as well. And I'm really excited by this new Stage 3 of showing the different showcases from the different areas of the country.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way to use the space and to promote people.
Yeah, it's great.
It
I'm looking
is.
forward to being part of it.
It is, because they've had things like that, similar things in the past, where they've had sort of Scottish themes and Irish themes
Yeah.
to the festival. But this is just slightly different. I'm liking it as well, actually.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. This is the first year it's actually been put together like that. So, Grainne, you've got time for a song. What
Sure.
would you like to play?
So I'm going to play something that I wrote over the last couple of years. Kind of, it's not recorded yet. So it's called Magnets, and I wrote it because I think over COVID I realised that while I absolutely love to be in a room full of people and playing gigs and kind of being around people, I also realised I absolutely love being on my own.
It's funny, isn't
So
it?
like,
a lot of us
lock
found
me
that.
away, sign me up for more of that isolation. I loved it. I was very productive. I had a great time, and I really used that time well. Even if I do say so myself. But I think you can be both, So
I think you need
that's-
both, actually.
Yeah,
And
I think you do. It's a bit of
since-
balance, right?
Since then, I think
Yeah.
we've all had a bit more permission to say, right, I'm going to take
Yeah.
some time away from people, and people
Yeah.
have understood it
Yeah.
more than it used to be.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Totally. Will we go for it?
Yes,
Yeah, go
definitely.
for it.
So this is Magnets. I am the center of a whirlwind. You are the wind in my hair. Whirling, twirling, swirling round. Even when the chips are down, you are there. I am a boat on the ocean. You are the swell breaking o'er. Waves that spray incessantly, bashing hard incredibly, it keeps me afloat. I prefer the silence, you would take the crowd, and I would see the blue skies, you would see the clouds. While we both are magnets, some days we find we're turned the wrong way round. You beam the sun that lights the morning. I breathe the moon and I take the night. Dusk and dawn are moments of glory. In the days we love, there's always some light. I prefer the silence, you would take the crowd, and I would see the blue skies, you would see the clouds. While we both are magnets, magnets. Some days we find we're turned the wrong way, but when we come together, nothing comes between. Yeah, when we come together, you wouldn't believe that I would take the silence, you would take the crowd, and I would see the blue skies, you would see the clouds. While we both are magnets, some days we find we're turned the wrong way. I will take the silence, you can have your crowds, and I will see the blue skies. We'll always need some clouds. While we both are magnets, some days we find we're turned the wrong way round.
That was fantastic.
That was
Fantastic. Great.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. That was Grainne Hunt and Magnets.
Do you know what, Grainne? I was listening to some of your music last night.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, what a fantastic voice. And you do not disappoint in the flesh. That was just
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
You've been compared to Tracy Chapman. I can kind of see why.
I get it, yeah. Loads of people say Natalie Merchant, which is a strange
Yeah.
one because I haven't really ever listened to her, but so many people are like, oh, 10,000 Maniacs, Natalie Merchant, yeah, yeah, you know. And I'm like, oh, I'll take it all, like, you know.
So when
Yeah.
did you start writing and playing?
I was very late to writing, you know. I suppose I was in a few bands in my 20s where other people just did that and I didn't have to think about it. And then when I turned 30, I met this guy who was looking for a backing singer, and he was like doing a bit of touring, and I thought I could do that. And then we did those gigs, and so many people would come up to me and say, well, what are you doing? And when can we hear you sing? And why are you in the background? And why aren't you doing stuff, you know? So I took that as a bit of a kick up the arse and just started working on stuff. So not like maybe the last 10 years, I suppose, really, like, you know what I mean? I released my first EP, extended EP as I call it, in 2015, and then The Secret was released in 2019, which was like stupidly timed, of course, with COVID, but yeah.
That's Grainne Hunt, and we're going to move from Ireland across to Scotland now, so keeping the Celtic connection, because the band Nos were here and they spoke to Linda and Alex. They're opening stage 2 this evening. That's Nos, not Linda and Alex.
Years ago, but it's the first time you've played Cambridge. But how did you sort of decide that you were going to become a band and sort of take it to the next level?
Yeah, I think it was a fairly organic thing. Well, as Aidan mentioned, him and Graham, the fiddle player who's not doing this interview, they went to school together, and so they kind of played as a duo and through different school things quite a lot. And then the other 3 guys were 2 years above me on the course, but they just kind of started playing together and through like just some different classes and stuff, I guess, and then decided they wanted some percussion and stuff as well, and then just kind of went from there, I suppose.
We've all wanted to do this since we were really young, you know, so to just kind of start the work when we were in uni and getting student loans, and then we hopefully
Now you pay them all off.
well maybe.
No.
But yeah, we just
That
wanted to
comes
do
later.
it since we were
We'll
small,
get
so
it.
it's
Never
great to be
happen.
able to get a shot at it.
Is it unusual, or is it quite common for people to say, and I don't want to stereotype anything, but like in Orkney, the fact that you were playing fiddle and you were playing together, and the fact that you play the bodrum, is that like a normal thing or unusual?
Yeah, in Orkney, there's such a rich vein of like traditional culture that more people than not play the fiddle. You know, Orkney, Shetland, there's such a huge like fiddle culture. Like Graham always says, it's kind of like playing football. Everybody does it in the Isles. So don't know more. So you guys kind of grew up doing like pipe band stuff, and that was everywhere as well.
Yeah, like myself and Connor, we're from more like the central belt. I'm from Stirling, and Connor's like Crieff, so kind of right in the middle of Scotland. And it's certainly when I went to school, it was a lot. I think there was about 1,000 people in my school, and I was one of the only ones that was playing traditional music. It wasn't as popular as in like the Northern Isles and the Western Isles, but me and Connor, like you're more of a piping background, eh?
Yeah, I played pipes since I was 5, so but I think
You're a world award winning piper.
well,
or, you know,
I don't know about that.
He is.
but-
He is. He wouldn't say it himself. But he
Yes,
is.
he is.
Yeah, but there was no one in school that really did it. It was
Yeah.
kind of maybe 2 or 3, but it was quite rare.
Yeah, and I
So-
think with the uni as well, that's what like I was a pipe band snare drummer and Connor a piper, so that was like our first instruments at uni when we went to the conservatoire. But then when you get there, you realise that they aren't always as compatible with guitars and fiddles and stuff. So that's why I started playing bodhrán, and Connor started playing flutes and whistles. So that was our sort of gateway into it.
They're easier to carry around as well, probably.
Much easier.
Being more practical about it.
Absolutely.
Than a full drum kit or anything.
Yes,
so that's
exactly.
really cool.
I'm still lug with a guitar.
Yeah. Well, that's still not as bad. My son's a drummer, and it's always I think I might
that's a job.
to move on to
people
music.
People keep asking me if I play drum kit as well, and I'm like, no, I'm too lazy. So that's it. Yeah. It's more portable.
And also with the pipes. So you said you started as 5. Did your family play as well? Is that when they encouraged you?
No, there was no one in my family that played the pipes. My granddad was a pipe band snare drummer like Craig, so I got dragged around the pipe band, kind of watching them, and then kind of wanted to play the pipes, but no other pipers in my family, unfortunately. So,
The good thing about playing pipes, because my lab partner at university, Random, he was a pipe player,
right,
and he got all the gigs for New Year's Eve everywhere, and he made
Burns.
a load on it. And when you're at uni, that was really important. He got loads of money compared to everybody else.
Yeah,
so
you
it's a
can
bit
make
of a good one.
Yeah, you can make a good bit of money, but
Connor's
on the side.
He's by far the richest member of the band.
Absolutely,
so it does show.
Yeah, noted.
So what EPs and albums have you got, or have you had coming out recently?
Yeah, we just put out a new album in May, actually. This is the kind of first summer of it being out. It's called Stretching Skyward, and it's kind of 12 tracks of original stuff. So we're going to be playing over there, opening the festival, I believe, or whatever, and playing most of the stuff from that album, at 5 o'clock. So we've got that album, and in 2020 we put out The Light of the Moon. It was our 2021 even, it was our lockdown project, and we just received a lot of love from the public from that, so we decided we'll just keep on rolling and put another one out this year. So.
Nos speaking to Linda and Alex a little earlier on. At around about 7:15 on a Thursday evening, on stage 3 right now are the bluegrass band The Vanguards. They're from Croydon in South London, and they stopped by a little earlier on.
We met at jams. Alex and I were at school together, and we played when we were at school, and it all kind of came around 2015 or so. I think the 5 of us got together, we met at some bluegrass jams, and we thought we'd do some gigs, and it all kind of happened from there.
Yeah. What was the sort of attraction of bluegrass over other forms of music?
Well, I've been interested in bluegrass and country music since I was in my teens. Chris, you kind of discovered it when you were on holiday in Ireland, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, before then, and then did a...
And then, so we decided, we all played a little bit, and we thought we'd try and play a bit more, and we got some gigs out of it, and it all went from there.
And is there a particular, I know nothing about bluegrass, so you're going to have to educate me here. Is there a particular style of bluegrass that you follow, or do you go across the genre?
We would call ourselves a pretty traditional bluegrass band, so we model ourselves on the guys that were playing in the 1940s, 1950s, so guys like Bill Monroe, Stanley Brothers, and the guys in the 21st century that try and replicate that kind of style.
I was chatting to Les Ray, who presents our folk programmes, Drummers and Dreamers, on this station this morning, and he was telling me that in 1960-65, when this festival started, bluegrass was a very big thing in Cambridgeshire.
Yes.
So there were lots of bluegrass bands playing the folk festival in the early years.
We know one of the guys who's still around today that was playing with his brother at this festival in the 60s, the Morris Boys.
Right.
So Dave Morris and his brother Glenn sadly passed away earlier this year, but he remembers playing this festival back in the 60s, and there was lots of it around.
That's astounding. How far do you go on your travels?
A few of us have been to the States, not really to do any paying gigs, but to kind of absorb all the culture and the music. But we're doing La Roche Festival in France this year. I think we've been to Ireland as well a few times, just kind of small European gigs and that kind of thing.
And playing here, you're playing a little later, I think. Is that right?
I think about 6:30.
Which stage are you on?
Stage 3.
Stage 3. Now, you probably know, Stage 3 is kind of new this year. It used to be known as the Club Tent, but it's kind of been rebranded in the way things are. So no doubt it'll be back being called the Club Tent in a few years' time, perhaps.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you to play now. It's not too... I always feel it's a great shame, really. We're sat here, and I think what's happening is potentially a rehearsal on stage 1, because there's no official live music there today, which is why it caught us all by surprise. But if you don't mind carrying on, I'm sure your beautiful noise will drown out the other beautiful noise.
We hope so. And we're going to do a song called River Take Me Away. bridge on the river, I can hear my heartaches call as the cold, lonesome wind starts to blow. And it's all I can do just to keep myself from falling. As I stare into the cold, I see water down below. River, won't you take me away, far from the pain I'm thinking of. I know that you could never feel as cold as a thought that I mean nothing to the only one I love. Told me she would leave me, and by the morning she'd be gone. I said she was my world, but she would not believe me. So I stand on this bridge tonight, heartbroken and alone. River, won't you take me away, far from the pain I'm thinking of. I know that you could never feel as cold as a thought that I mean nothing to the only one I love. At dawn, if you should go a little further down the stream, you may find me lying there at rest. And friend, then you'll know I couldn't bear these broken dreams, or to live my life alone without the one I love the best. River, won't you take me away, far from the pain I'm thinking of. I know that you could never feel as cold as a thought that I mean nothing to the only one I love.
Very good. The Vanguards on Cambridge 105 Radio. I'm going to ask you to do one more, if you don't mind, in a moment or two. Before I do that, I want to ask about the singing voice, because you're having to put on an accent there, I guess, in order to get the bluegrass style through.
It wouldn't work in my normal South London accent, I don't think.
Well, it didn't do Chaz and Dave any harm, did it?
Yeah, I suppose that's true. In the States, you see a lot of people from different parts of the States not putting on accents. So there was a guy called Joe Val, who was from the northeast around Boston. He would sing a song like Hard Hearted, but would pronounce it had-hadded. And he wouldn't try and put on a southern accent at all, but I find I can't do it unless I do.
The Vanguards. Now, back in 2019, a young Sam Wilkinson appeared on The Voice Kids. Still only 19, so 17. Gosh, I aged him by 2 years. Still only 17. Is appearing this year at The Den. He came by a little earlier on and started off by performing one of his songs.
This is the first song I wrote when I was 12. It's called Everything's Alright. I'd like to tell you after all, I spoke with the lizards on the wall. They didn't tell me nothing new, nothing I knew wasn't true, but they told me all the things they saw you do. A little buddy told me so, he gave you up, you should have known. But now your mental on his moan, you can make the decision on your own. for next time. So take me into your arms and say everything's alright. Take me into your eyes and tell me I'm not out of sight yet. A losing battle for both sides. Everyone has lost some lives. You thought you were being brave. Your dignity, would it save? Now all you've served is your family. One last wave. What do you want? What will you get? Is the time for death already set? What do you need? What do you have? Is there anything you truly love? By the end of life, will we have had enough? So take me into your arms and say everything's alright. Take me into your eyes and tell me I'm not out of sight yet. No, I'm not out of sight yet. Na 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 na. No, I'm not out of sight yet. Na 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 na. No, I'm not out of sight yet.
That's Sam Wilkinson on Cambridge 105 Radio. And that, you said, was the first song you finished writing?
That was the first song I finished when I was 12.
How long did it take to write? And I guess also, have you changed it and tweaked it since at all?
Well, that last Nanas, I added that later. But the main song, so I wrote all the verses just kind of like sitting on my bed and stuff. And I was playing through, I had chords for them, so I was just playing like the chords.
And what did you do, write that into a tablet? Or did you have a little book or anything?
Oh, I had a notebook, but I filled up the whole notebook before finishing a song. And then this was the one song I got out of that whole like A4 pad. But yeah, so I had all the verses and I was just playing through them one day. And then it was so exciting because it's like the chorus just kind of dropped in, it just felt right. And I just went to F and then E minor and all that. And it's an exciting moment.
And that was Sam Wilkinson, fabulous singer for somebody so young, and a wonderful songwriter too. Now we must say goedenavond to Andrew in the Netherlands, who wants us to give a shout out to Sue. He spotted the Cosmic Camper in the background during that last piece, and Sue is part of the Cambridge 105 radio team. She'll be on the radio on Saturday afternoon. In between, she is doing a lot of the emceeing on stage here at the Cambridge Folk Festival this year. Now to our final guest for the evening. It is the Cambridgeshire-based band Frog on a Bike. They play the Ceilidh, and we'll start with their track, The Well-Hung Turkey. Gobble, gobble. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I enjoyed that. It's really. I'm looking for another one in the moment, please. Have you always done Ceilidh, or have you sort of done other things between you and other places?
In this lineup, we've always been a Ceilidh band. The band has been going for, I think it's somewhere near 40 years. This particular lineup actually came together in lockdown. We expanded into a 6-piece for festivals, and we had to actually launch in lockdown, and we put together a series of videos called the Lockdown Sessions. But yeah, we've been back champing at the bit when all restrictions were lifted. Sorry, but we've also been involved in lots of other things. Paul, in particular, founded a band now known as the Bolton Iron Maiden.
Is that presumably other Iron Maidens are available? Is that the issue?
Yes. For a small fee.
Funerals and bar mitzvahs. He's not at the microphone, but Paul's band was the original Iron Maiden, and when they finished, they actually gifted their name to another band who were their groupies, who did rather well with it. But Paul's an excellent songwriter, releases solo albums as well. So yeah, lots of different musical projects going on.
I'm trying to remember, guys, in the Rob and Lawrence in the van here. Have we ever had drums before? I don't think we have. This is our first, so another first for you here, Paul. I saw them coming in, being wheeled in on a cart and then gently put into position over there. I was kind of expecting calling. Do you do? Is that Ceilidh, or am I getting my genres muddled up?
Calling is Ceilidh. We've just come off stage 3 in our caller Mary Panton, who's been involved in the Cambridge Folk Festival for quite a number of years, was calling for us. We generally we used to have our own in-house caller that came with us to all gigs, but we generally pick and choose between a very small select handful of callers that we use for all our gigs now around Cambridge.
It's like Mission Impossible, picking the best people for the job at the start of the Ceilidh.
That and whoever's available at the time.
Frog on a Bike, finishing up our selection of interviews from today on Cambridge 105 Radio. If you liked what you saw, well, good news for you. We're back again tomorrow just after 7 o'clock with more videos from the day's proceedings here. So like, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get a little reminder just ahead of the telecast. Now, that's almost it from me. A reminder that you can also hear our radio shows. You can go to cambridge105.co.uk and click on the on-demand link top right, and you'll hear everything which was broadcast today. And of course, you'll want to listen live tomorrow. Linda Ness and Alex Elborough will be here from 2 o'clock in the afternoon. From me, Julian Clover, and engineers Rob Chipperfield, Lawrence Micallef and Dom Smith, and everyone here at the Cambridge Folk Festival, very good evening.